it possible to have a word with my lawyers now that the judge has left?
Afande, do you want, after the people have left, the other people?
Yes, I want to talk to my lawyers, and I'd rather do it in the absence of the people.
High Court Judge Wilson Kwesiga has denied bail to Lieutenant General Henry Tumukunde. Considering Tumukunde's status basing on the application, court has ordered that among his sureties, General Tumukunde should produce 2 serving officers at his rank or above him, with a recommendation from the Chief of Defence Forces.
The appropriate sureties in this application should have been at least 2 military officers of the rank of the applicant or of a higher ranker than the applicant, provided if the sureties are serving military officers, they shall submit a letter of introduction from their Chief of Defence Forces.
Among the sureties presented by the applicant include General Retired Mugisha Muntu, who is no longer serving military officer, one Samuel Lubega Mukaku, a civilian, whom court did not find as substantial sureties.
So that they put conditions which are absolutely unusual, because as far as I know, Lieutenant General Tumukunde is a retired military officer, and there is absolutely no requirement for anybody who is retired, who is no longer in uniform, who is essentially a civilian, to need sureties to be serving officers. That's absolutely irregular.
That if he has to be given bail, it must be somebody, a serving army general, not even somebody of his rank, retired or whatever, but a serving army general.
Judge Kwesiga also overruled the prosecution's request that the applicant should be denied bail, since once released, he is most likely to interfere with the investigation. He noted that court is not intentionally delaying the release of the applicant, but doing so for a reasonable period of time, basing on the regrettable health consequences.
The application for bail should be reconsidered at a future date. A, when the circumstances alluded to have changed. 2, when the applicant has furnished court with appropriate sureties.
I spoke to my lawyers.
About the delayed trial, the judge pointed out that this case has not been delayed, considering the time frame within which the matters arising have been handled. Last month, through his lawyers of Wameri & Company advocates, General Tumukunde applied for bail in High Court, basing on a number of grounds, one of which included his advanced age.
So he thinks that within 1 month from now, he will be in position to reconsider the bail application. But also important to note, he says he needs sureties who are serving army officers. But as lawyers, we are going to see what exactly to do, because we find that a very challenging.
It's alleged that Lieutenant General Henry Tumukunde on 5th March 2020 made utterances on a local TV show, allegedly to instigate Ugandans to cause unlawful change of government. It's also further alleged that on 13th March 2020, Tumukunde was found in possession of an AK-47 and a star pistol without a valid firearm certificate. Court has set May 6th for the mention of the case.
It's quite unusual that they put conditions which are absolutely unusual, because as far as I know, Lieutenant General Tumukunde is a retired military officer, and there is absolutely no requirement for anybody who is retired, who is no longer in uniform, who is essentially a civilian, to need sureties to be serving officers. That's absolutely irregular. I really hope that the lawyers will challenge that. Bail, Lieutenant General Tumukunde aganidwa okuweerezebwa bail. Ensonga emu gye baleese nti baagala abanaamuyimirira wabeereko officers ababiri abakyali mu magye abalina rank kwali oba esingako. Ekyo si kya bulijjo, kubanga bw'omala okuva mu uniform n'ogenda ebweru w'amagye tekyetaagisa kubeera ne surety kuva ku muntu oyo akyali mu magye. Si kya bulijjo, era kansube nti lawyers bajja kukigoberera bakichallenging kubanga bwe bakireka kijja kunyigiriza abo abantu bonna abaali babaddeko mu uniform oba mu poliisi oba mu magye n'ogenda ebweru ne bakunyigiriza ku ddembe lyo kubanga bw'ova mu magye n'oleka uniform obanga ofuuse civilian.
And on top of that, he says they must come with the letter of recommendation or permission from the commander of the defense forces for them to be sureties. But as lawyers, we are going to see what exactly to do, because we find that a very challenging condition. But at the same time, our client is a civilian, is not an army officer. So requiring that you want serving army officers at his rank and above, who are generals and above, and at the same time they must get permission from the commander of the defense forces. At the same time, the nature of offenses that our client is charged, the people who are pinning him are the same. You are telling him to go and get sureties from. We think as lawyers, we respect the ruling of the judge, because that is what we are supposed to do, though we don't agree with it. So we shall accordingly sit as the legal team and see what we can do. The other element, which is very vital, is that under the Constitution and a number of international statutory instruments and conventions to which Uganda is a signatory, the right to a fair hearing is sacrosanct. So we are having a problem that we cannot access our client in Luzira, despite the several orders that have been made by court before. Even the doctors that were ordered by court to access him over 3 weeks ago have been denied entry and access to our client who is sick, and court had ordered that we get private medical attention to him. We have written to the Commissioner General of Police on more than one occasion requesting that we be allowed to access our client, which has been turned down. Not even turned down because the Commissioner General of Police has not formally written to us a response to tell us what the fate of our request is. So we believe, notwithstanding the COVID condition, there are fundamental human rights which an accused person is supposed to enjoy. Because if the law had stopped working, then police would not even be arresting anybody, and nobody would even be sent to Chitalia or another prison. So you cannot make the law work when it works for you, and when it has to work for other people, it ceases being. And you use the COVID condition as an excuse to tramp upon people's rights. So as lawyers, one, we are disappointed that the fundamental human rights, you deny bail, fine, but don't deny an accused person a right to access to their lawyers. Don't deny them a right to access to their kin. And for me, those are very core fundamentals. We know, just like you've seen on video conferencing, the General Tumukunde retired has said people are accessing there. And access can be made into the prisons within the confines of the guidelines. So we are, as lawyers, we are following this up, and we feel it is travesty of justice, it is travesty of the law, and it is not in fair spirit that we are having double standards from all the agencies.
It's ridiculous. It's very unfortunate. It's even unacceptable, legally and constitutionally, to hear somebody in a civil court, because he has served this country to the rank of general, that if he has to be given bail, it must be somebody, a serving army general, not even somebody of his rank, retired or whatever, but a serving army general. Because today, General Tumukunde is not serving. He is retired. Why should you give ridiculous conditions through court that you must, in order to get bail, whatever happens, it must be pegged on you providing people who are serving army generals? And in this administration, the way Museveni has ruled this country, which serving army general do you expect to come and say, look, I am standing for a man you have accused of, because he's standing against you, you have accused of treason? That's not going to happen. What actually President Museveni now wants Tumukunde to do is to go to him with apologies in his teeth and say, I made a mistake to declare that I'm going to stand for presidency of this country. And then that's when maybe those framed up charges can be dropped under his mercy. This cannot be acceptable. This cannot be allowed by the citizenship of this country, by the institutions of this country, and by the community of nations, the international community. That's what I mean.